Welcome to City Show Radio. I'm Pat O'Melia here on GGR via Live 365. As I see each week, download the Live 365 app. So there we go. Now I hear a little better. Download the Live 365 app so you can hear all my productions. We have quite a few coming up, and there's a lot of other programming on Live 365, so take advantage of it. Today we're going to talk about the Jersey City budget. Mayor Fulop has announced his budget, $744.5 million. We're going to talk about the expenses of Jersey City, where Mayor Fulop is constantly trying to create affordable housing. Kind of hard to do that when the city isn't affordable itself, and we'll go into those numbers. Our guest today, we have a guest in studio. He is the Public Safety Director for the City of Jersey City, James Shea. We'll be talking about the Public Safety Department, that's Fire, Jersey City PD, the Evil Empire, the Jersey City Parking Enforcement, and the 911, so we'll get into all of that. And when we come back, I'll start the first segment, and around 10 after 2, we'll bring in James Shea. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'll be right back.
And here, RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back. City Show Radio here. I'm Pat O'Melia here on GGR. As I was saying when we opened the show, Mayor Fulop has presented his budget. It is $744.5 million. That is a lot of money. Yeah, I've been covering Jersey City now for about 30 years. I broke in with Brett Schindler, did a lot under Glenn D. Cunningham. I covered Harvey Smith. I covered Jerry Healy, for that matter. His daughter's running for Ward D. We'll get into that. Hopefully we have enough time. This has got to be like more than twice what Glenn's budget is. And we keep talking about trying to make the city more affordable. Somewhere along the line, we need a Doge in Jersey City. We need Doge here. Mayor Fulop's got to get a Doge. You may have a problem with Elon. You know, he was talking about Elon and the state pension. He was talking on Murphy about dropping the stocks. We need a Doge. We need a reset. We should go back to whatever Glenn D. Cunningham, whatever programs we had under Glenn, we should reset for there and then start looking. Between the city of Jersey City at $744.5 million, the insane Jersey City Board of Education budget that I think it's coming in at $1.2 billion. And I don't even know what the county budget is yet, but I'm hearing it's a hard budget this year. If you took, just looking at the city of Jersey City and the Jersey City Board of Education, if you divided the 290,000 residents of Jersey City into that budget, everybody in Jersey City, every resident would be responsible for like $7,000 a year. I mean, that toddler in a baby stroller, $7,000 a year. Grandma, $7,000 a year. The problem is, all 290,000 people in Jersey City aren't paying that. It falls to probably about a third or maybe 40%. The property owners are paying for it. And it is, you know, my kid's house in Jersey City, we're looking at $12,000 a year in property taxes. This has gone up tremendously. And I know McGreevy was blaming Fulop for the 53% increase over the last 2-3 years. That wasn't Fulop. That's not the municipal part. That's the school budget there. Fulop has, and I told Fulop he should have went with an appointed board then. The city has no say or sway with the Board of Education. They may just jack the taxes another 20% they're talking about. Think about that. 20%. Like I said before, my grammar school that I went to here in Jersey City, PS 23 on Broadway and Van Wagner, costs $58 million a year to run. At elementary school. And they don't pay property taxes. They're not paying rent there or anything. That's just the expenses. And when Fulop becomes governor, Yeah, he's got a real good shot, too. He's about 5 points behind Mikey Sherrill, so Fulop's got a real shot at it. He's talking about consolidating. First thing you need to do is consolidating school districts. We don't need 565 school districts. So it's all have salaries and expenses and pensions. We got 21 counties, have 21 school districts. That's the first thing we need to attack. You want to make Jersey City affordable, we got to do something about the school budget. As I said many times, my daughter's a school teacher. Take the teachers' salaries off the table and look at every other dime. Where is this money? We got some people that may go to jail who were part of the Jersey City Board of Education. They're not going to jail because they did a great job and they were protecting your interests. They're going to jail because they were stuffing their pockets and stuffing their friends' pockets. There are problems there. And I'm not talking about the board that had it set up now. You know, they're just going on and just kicking this can down the road. We got to look at that can. We got to open that can and see what's in there. But think about that. 290,000 people in Jersey City. Everyone is responsible for $7 million. And I don't have the county figured into that yet. Just the school and the city. Everyone, every little baby, $7,000. Everybody give me $7,000 and we could pay the budget. There's a problem when it's this expensive. And I applaud Fulop for trying to create affordable housing, but you're not going to be able to have affordable housing if the city isn't affordable. When you're getting a one-bedroom apartment for $3,500 a month, that ain't affordable. You know, I remember when I was a kid, you know, I'm going to be 68 next month, but I remember renting a nice apartment for $35 a month. That same apartment, and the exact same apartment I speak of that I had as a kid, is going for $3,000 a month. And it was only 4 railroad rooms. And it was terrible heat. And when I look at the pictures of it, it looks like it still has the terrible heat. So somehow we have to make things affordable. And I listened today on 101.5, talking about how, you know, young couples that I spoke about many times. I think Dennis and Judy listened to us. They're talking about how a young couple can possibly buy a house. You can't. But $1 million to buy a house. You know, I'm very fortunate. You know, I got my kids into the real estate. They got the Jersey City house, a nice 3-family. It's worth like $1.4 million now. I look at the house and say, how is it possible this thing is worth $1.4? Good for my kids. You know, my kids, you know, they're going to have a good future. And I got them into more real estate in Seaside Heights. And I swear to you, they bought a house for $250,000, 2-family, 2-car garage, 5,000 square feet of land. Couldn't touch that house now for 1.2. So Dad should have let him go into real debt and buy a few more houses in Seaside that time. But it's incredible what happened from 2016 to now. But when I look at these properties, I don't understand how it's that valuable. Now, I know in Seaside Heights it's valuable until another Sandy blows through and that'll create the real estate real fast down there. Jersey City, we don't have to worry about a Sandy blowing through, especially, you know, a lot of people don't realize Jersey City is a hill. Now, I'm going to have Joe from the MUA. He's doing a town hall on the radio show for the MUA. I'm going to have Joe explain that to people in Jersey City. They'll realize that Jersey City is a big hill. The Kennedy Boulevard's the top of the hill, and everything on both sides, you go down the hill. So when we're having sewer problems in Jersey City, because that water is going down that hill at such a force, it blows up the old infrastructure we have. And the MUA's he's been spending a lot of money, but he's been doing a lot of work. Sip Avenue was a good example of the hill. That water came down the hill and blew out all of Sip Avenue, and they had to rebuild everything from Sip, from 1 and 9, all the way up to Kennedy Boulevard. Now you're doing the same kind of a project down on Garfield. Well, let's break for a commercial, and we'll bring in our guest. He will be here right after the commercial break. It's Public Safety Director James Shea. I'm Pat O'Melia. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just 1 pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. You're listening to City Show Radio here on Pat O'Melia on GGR. Now let's bring in our guest. He is the Public Safety Director for the City of Jersey City, James Shea. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks for having me, and congratulations on your new studio. My
Yeah.
first time here.
Yeah, it's a good studio. It's a teaching studio here. We're teaching the high school kids.
Yeah, that's
We-
very exciting. Excellent.
We may start working with the County Community College, and Andy Acebo, the president of New Jersey City University, he's going to be doing a show. We might be working with some of his students also. I'm here. Listen, I got another 2 or 3 years left in me to teach. I'm going to teach what I can, and then wave to them all. Whoever's left standing gets the studio. Who's ever here at the end, here's the keys. James, how long you been the public safety director in Jersey?
Over 12 years now, Pat.
Has it been that long? That's
Yep.
right. You came in with Philip right from the beginning, right?
Yes, I did.
You were from New York.
From New York, and came over here to work for Mayor Fulop. He came over to interview with him, and he's a very persuasive person. And I took a job that I thought might last for a year, 2, maybe 4, and 12 years later, I'm still here.
Well, the main thing, you were a Marine, weren't you? Wasn't that the thing when Philip
I-
hired you? You were a Marine also?
Yes,
That
I
was
was.
the big qualification? Now, in New York, do you know Eric Adams? Did you serve with him?
We were on the police department at the same time, but we're not close. No.
You were in the same squad, same
No,
precinct?
just on the same department. And the New York City Police Department has 35,000 members, so
Yeah, that is huge,
everybody's
yeah.
not you can know of people. Eric Adams was very outspoken. He was a popular member of the police department. A lot of people knew him. He was the head of one of the fraternal organizations, but knowing him personally, no, I don't.
He strikes me as a straight shooter.
He seems to be over there. Gets himself in trouble sometimes. It seems like
Straight-
that, but he
straight
does.
shooters do that. Yes, they do. In New York, their ambulance service is run by the PD, right?
By the fire department.
By the fire department?
Yeah.
Did you ever consider that here?
Yes, we have, but we've thought about it a couple times. We've thought about expanding ambulance services with the fire department, but the hospital does a very good job. It's an important part of their services, and we've never found a way that can duplicate the quality of service of having the hospital responsible from the minute they get in touch with you to the time that they discharge you from that hospital. So rather than having 2 separate agencies doing that, it became a matter of if it's not broke, don't fix it for
I think I
the
agree.
hospital.
Mike Pulaski there in the Jersey City Medical Center do a good job with the ambulance service. They got a program that has an algorithm. Yeah, I'm sure they showed it off to you, where they can almost predict where the calls are going to come in, and they stage the ambulances all over the city.
Yeah, they were actually one of the lead people in the country on working with that type of algorithm to pre-position their
Yeah.
ambulances where they think they're going to be needed, and it's very impressive when you watch them do it.
When CarePoint started having problems, again, you handled the 911 dispatch. Was that an issue for the Jersey City?
No, we've 911 dispatch. We've never had any problem other than the usual technical. It comes in, it has to be dispersed to both the police, sometimes the fire, and the ambulance. So you're moving it to 3. If you can imagine one stream breaking into 3 streams and having to go move downstream in 3 separate directions. But no, we've never had a problem. Again, we're very lucky here with the quality of service we get from the ambulance company. Now, like anybody else, they can sometimes be overwhelmed if there's a large crowd or a large accident with multiple people hurt, God forbid, a bus or something like that. But we also have mutual aid with the surrounding areas, and we help them, they help us. Of course, being Jersey City, we help them more than they.
Hopefully, we don't have a situation like, I don't know if you watched the show The Pit with Noah Wiley.
No, I don't.
It's
sorry.
almost ER. That's why he's being sued. But they had a situation where there was like some catastrophe where there were like 100 people were shot or something happened over there. And I was watching that particular episode. My wife watches it. And I say, can you imagine that happened here with this many people needing emergency services at once? Just the ambulance standpoint. I don't know how many the Med Center has. It has a lot, but it doesn't have that many. Are you concerned, before we get into police, with the future of CarePoint with Hudson Regional? From the public safety?
I mean, yeah, we always are. Going back to the COVID, when there were challenges with that, we're always concerned. For us, of course, more is always better. The more options we have, the more redundancy we have. God forbid something happens and shuts one down, or as you just mentioned, overwhelms one hospital. We'd like to have another one. We'd like to have another one after that. So we'll keep an eye on it. I know the mayor is very active in the entire conversation, and he's also aware from his time in the Marines and from running the city how important that redundancy is to us to provide the necessary services
Well,
to
for that, Mayor Fuller put himself on the board there with CarePoint. He was going to personally see this thing through.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we made the right decision.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong statement.
I have some questions, but they didn't elect me mayor. They elected Mayor Fuller. Let's go to the Jersey City Police. Your numbers are in great shape. most of all your crime numbers are down, the major ones anyway. Yeah, you got some of them. What are the numbers that are spiking up? Your murders down, your gun shootings are down. All the heavy stuff is down.
Yeah, we're very, we never say we're happy. It's important to remember, I had a doctor tell me once that there's no such thing as minor surgery. Minor surgery happens to someone else, not to you. If you need a small procedure, there's nothing minor about it. And we look at crime the same way. There's no such thing as a minor crime, because if it's happening to you or one of your family members, that's a serious issue. So we treat everything seriously. But I do agree with you. The what most people would consider the more serious crimes, the murders, the attempted murders, the shootings, we've had a great amount of success under Mayor Fulop addressing those. We're reorganizing the department, focusing the detectives that are best at it on it, working with the prosecutors and our federal prosecutors. We're pretty successful at that, the entire criminal justice system. Where we're seeing challenges is in the crimes that most people would be considered not that serious. The breaking into a car, a minor shoplifting that turns into a robbery because somebody shoves the store owner when he tries to stop him. A package left on the street that somebody picks up, the famous package thefts.
Yeah, the porch pirate, yeah.
The porch pirates that are everywhere. Those we're having trouble with, and I say all the time, some of it ties to bail reform. Now, I'm going to start by saying myself and the mayor are huge advocates of bail reform. Nobody should be in jail just because they can't pay bail if someone else who committed the exact same crime gets out because they can pay bail. That's not fair. That's not America. We don't do that. But there was a little unintended side effect. We didn't realize that
Yes, there was.
that having people in jail, these people committing these minor crimes, we didn't realize the impact that not putting them in jail on bail was going to have, because the shootings, the murders, thank God, they're not doing it every day. They're not out there. Somebody who's committing a murder isn't committing a murder a day. They're not walking down the street shooting everybody. Those smaller things, we have criminals who'll commit 20 of those crimes in an hour. They'll walk down the street, and if they see a car door open, they'll steal what's ever in it. If there's a package on a porch, they'll take the package. They'll then go and buy drugs or trade it for drugs. They'll come back. They need more drugs. They'll go do it again. So what we've learned is that while we have a very small amount of people doing those crimes, they're doing a lot of them. And we don't have a mechanism to address that yet. But thankfully, the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, the politicians, everybody's recognizing that this is an unintended side effect. And I do believe we are going to see some progress on how do we handle this. Do we start tracking these people so that we don't treat... Mayor Fulop had a great point. I don't know if you saw. He said one time, there's no way we should be treating a serial shoplifter who gets arrested 100 times the same as a 16-year-old who took a pack of candy on a dare. There's no way they should both be treated the same way, and right now they are. So we need to figure out a way we can deal with that, whether it's through some kind of like a list of the most prolific criminals and make sure the judge knows who they're dealing with before they get that person's case.
Like a wall of shame.
Like a wall of shame. So we're looking, and everybody's working on this. Like I said, the political leaders, the prosecutor's office, we all recognize what happened, and we're all searching for an answer. So I'm enthusiastic that we'll come up with one.
Well, when I was a kid, if you sold that pack of gum and you got caught, there was instant justice by the Jersey City Police back then. Frank Aveline would give, I don't know if you know Frank, he was the Jersey City cop. Frank was the cop in my neighborhood. He knew everybody, knew all the families. You did the wrong thing. Frank got you straightened out real fast. He had huge hands. And his huge hands were in my face many times. Cracking down on crime. You've done a pretty good job in what we used to call Ward F there in the end of the city. It was like almost a nightly situation where there was gun violence up. That's not the case anymore. What did you do up there?
Yeah, we're very proud of that. The first thing, when we took over, we devoted a lot more resources there. The mayor is a big fan of put your money where your mouth is, find where the problem is, and put the solution there. We have 4 districts, as you know, in the city, and some people are advocates of just split the department into 4 and put equally in each. And that's one way to do it, but you're not addressing the real problems. The mayor was more of an advocate of here's where our problem is. Let's use our analysis to find it, and then let's devote our resources to it. And then, as you know, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of trial and error working with the community. We tried some things that didn't work. We tried other things that did work. We moved through different police commanders, but we settled on this method now, and part of it was the luxury of being here 12 years, let's be honest. A lot of people come in for 4 years and leave, and someone else starts over. Being here for 12 years, let us do some of that trial and
We
error.
got to lay it all in.
And the mayor's leadership on that let us not be afraid to try new things. So what we've settled on now is a focus on gun violence, almost from police officers who are good at it right through their careers. So they can, all gun violence now is addressed by one small group of detectives. We call them our ceasefire detectives. It's not split up among the 4 districts anymore. This lets them see the connections between it. See that one gun shooting is a retaliation for a previous one, so there might be another retaliation. That lets us move resources around to prevent that next retaliation. Then by working with this, they get really good at identifying who some of our problems are. Because I say all the time, there is a finite amount of people that are willing to pick up a gun and harm another human being. They're damaged. I hope they get the help they need once we remove them from the street, but they have to be removed from the street if they're willing to do that.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so by using the same detectives and keeping them in that focus, when we promote them, we keep them in an area where they can address that gun violence. So they'll go from our street crime unit, which actually patrols the street and meets these kids and talks to them and gets to know them. They'll go from there into our intelligence unit, where they research more about them. What are the connections between different groups? What are the historical problems? Then into investigating shootings and homicides. Then into the prosecutor's homicide unit or into one of our federal task forces with the ATF. So by combining that path with the massive investment that the mayor has allowed us to make into cameras, and the key thing about that investment with cameras, and I think we were a little ahead of the game here, and I'm very proud of it, it lets us interact with communities that, let's be honest, have historic mistrust of the police. It allowed us to interact with them on a negative basis less. Where our detectives used to have to go out and look for suspicious behavior, and suspicious is in the eye of the beholder, of course. And many times, you mentioned growing up in Jersey City, many times we did things that looked suspicious.
And they were.
And they were. So we now use the cameras instead, and the cameras let our detectives at arm's length see something suspicious, follow it. Oh, it's not suspicious. It's just somebody waiting for his mother to get off a bus. Yes, he's been loitering there for a while, but now I see why. The next day when they see him, they know why he's there, because they've already done it.
You bring up the CCTV cameras. When Fuller became the mayor, most of our cameras were offline. They didn't work.
That's
They weren't. They were of different manufacturers. We didn't have the parts. And the other thing I think you guys, and again, kudos to Mayor Fuller, he made some heavy investment in the Ward F section of Jersey City on MLK.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have the annex there. You know, it started, Glenn Cunningham started with the hub, and Bert Schindler with the hub. But Fuller doubled down on that. And I think he showed that section of Jersey City, we're not forgetting you, we're putting heavy investment in there. You got the CCTV cameras, you got the PD headquarters up there now.
Our
the
public
annex.
safety headquarters, the Veterans Housing,
Yep.
is up there on Ocean Avenue. Yeah, it's a massive investment, and now you're starting to see private investment follow it. We're starting to watch buildings
Well, yeah,
going
yeah,
up there.
yeah,
Yeah, buildings
construction
coming up
everywhere.
on MLK.
10, 12 years ago, it was a Solomon Dweck thing. If you said you were going to be developing on MLK, you knew something wasn't right. Let's take a break. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. Our guest is James Shea, the Public Safety Director of Jersey City. We'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back. You're listening to City Show Radio here. I'm Pat O'Meara on GGR. My guest is the Public Safety Director, James Shea. James, we talked about police. You've done a good job. I know there's some people on the council that may not agree. I think you've done a good job. Fire department, son of a Jersey City firefighter. What's going on there?
Okay, the Jersey City Fire Department, we're very proud of our success. What we're doing with the Jersey City Fire Department, you're the son of a firefighter, so you know. A lot of fire departments shrank in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. You know,
We used to lay off firemen.
Oh, yeah,
Brett Schindler laid them off. They were layoffs with police and fire back then. Unheard of now.
and it was not unusual for those fire departments. As better fire code buildings came in, you know, and stuff, people said, "Look, there's less of a use for them. We can get away with less companies, et cetera." So we looked at the environment we work in. And here in Jersey City, we still have a lot of older housing stock, which is susceptible to fires. So, like, you're really rolling the dice if you're shrinking your fire department. So under Mayor Fulop, we took over, and they were turning out, I believe at the time we took over, I came here in July, and they were turning out about 19 companies a day. Now, theoretically, they had 22 or 24, but they just weren't manning them. They were only manning about 19 a day. And we were shutting down companies because they didn't have trucks. They didn't have a working fire truck. Like, if the truck went out, we didn't have a spare to keep the company going, so we'd have to shut it down. We have fixed all that. Mayor Fulop has put a huge investment into fire. We are now turning out 28 companies a day. We're one of the only municipalities in the country that has increased its fire protection. Now, before, let's be honest, we need to. All you have to do is look around Jersey City at all those new buildings going up, the high rises, everything else.
Can we fight a high-rise fire now?
Yes, we can. We have high-rise fire units that are out there. We're about to build a training facility where the firefighters can, out in Caven Point, we're about to build a training facility where the firefighters can practice that. But yes, 2 of the new companies we put in are specifically dedicated to fighting high-rise fires. So we're very excited about the fire company. We've also increased the personnel. So we had 28, and we also, what happened in LA this year, and
there was a lot of mistakes there. Of course, a lot of homes.
One of the things the mayor does with me, anytime something happens anywhere in the country, we always sit down and say, "What if that happened here? Are we ready for it? Could we do it?" And we were pleased with the progress we've made. We've done some tweaks, and if you remember, about 2 weeks after that, we had the week with the incredibly high winds and the forest fires everywhere.
Yeah.
We were able to bring in extra companies and actually man extra trucks. So I think we were up to 29 at one point, and we were able to send fire companies to help those other jurisdictions that had fire companies going without hurting. Firefighting is all about redundancy because they need to train, they need to eat. You know, they can't be like immediately available all the time. So it's something people don't like, but yes, you need to have more than you need.
Where do you train the firemen? 'Cause now you brought up the training. You're going to do it in Caven Point Road. Glenn sent me someplace in Jersey that was a fireman training. They were setting the building on fire. They were setting the same place on fire. 100. I'm trying to think of where it was. It was like in East Orange, West Orange, something like that. And we were sending on firefighters up there.
Yeah, we send down, most of our new firefighters go to Bergen County, I believe
Bergen?
now.
I can't
They
remember
have
where
a
it was.
full, what you call a burn house. They made me go in there once. I went in there just to prove I would because I come from the police background. I wanted the firefighters to know I would. Never going in again. I don't like fires. That's it. I'll let the professionals handle that.
They put me in there. I was in there. Glenn sent me up there. They were beating me up, especially when they found out I was the son of a Jersey City firefighter. Fire trucks. Back under Glenn and Brett Schindler, we had and under Healy also. We had fire trucks, but they were in DPW waiting to get repaired. Is that the situation anymore?
No, it's not. We not only have full trucks for every company working all the time, we have spares. So the other day, one of our trucks was involved in an accident and had to be taken off the road. We were able to just move the firefighters right into the spare. Again, redundancy.
Redundancy.
More than the police, fire services, because our fire chief likes to take 6 or 8 companies out on any given day and send them on a training exercise. Like he'll take them, they're still in Jersey City if we need them, but he'll take them off the road and he'll have a mock fire, you know, at a building and do training. So you have to be sure that he has the resources to do that. So we're proud of that.
How many firefighters do we have now?
We're up to about 470.
470. How many
Yeah.
Jersey City cops?
Okay, Jersey City cops, I'm not as happy with the number we have. We're in the high 8s now, maybe around 890.
Oh, I thought you cracked 1,000.
We came, again, no one can see me on the radio. We came within an inch
close.
of cracking 1,000. You remember when we were very proud of that. The mayor and I think that the correct number of police officers for Jersey City is probably around 1,100. Newark has between 12 and 1,300. Our population is very close to theirs. You mentioned before, we do have some challenges. We're doing good on crime. We have a huge commuter population that comes in and out of here every day, and the city's grown. So we think that we would have liked to have grown the police department like the fire department. Unfortunately, with everything that we were on the path, we were over 900 at one point. We had enlarged the department. We had diversified it. We had an incredible amount of Jersey City residents, you know, kids that grew up here that were in it. We were very happy with what we were doing. Increased supervision, increased internal affairs, everything. And then things happened in this country around the death of George Floyd and during COVID. And police recruiting dropped off a cliff.
Are you recruiting now?
We're recruiting now, and we're not seeing the numbers we would like, though.
We should use the radio to do that. That's
yeah,
one of the
please.
things. And the fire department, you recruiting?
We're always recruiting, but we're still having, we're not having a problem getting applicants for the fire department. It's the police
Well,
department.
the fire department's a cool job.
Yeah.
It's a cool job.
Well, I will tell you, and I'd love if you
the
use,
women love the fire guy.
I would love if you,
The hunky firemen show up.
I would love if you'd use your radio to help us. I agree with you. It is but we do have trouble getting the word out into every community in Jersey City, because what we've learned is, as cool as the fire department job is, it's a very family-oriented job. Firefighters tend to follow other family members into firefighting. And since people have a visceral fear of fire, we go to some communities and people say, oh, I don't want that job. I don't want anything to do with fire. So if you can get the word out there about what a great job it is and how much we need people and what a great career it is, that'd be wonderful.
Be happy to help. Had my father not passed on at a young age, I would have been a fireman or a cop. It was a guarantee. But unfortunately, he passed away. 911 dispatch.
Yeah.
What are your issues there?
Well, 911 dispatch, we have several issues. We had outdated equipment. We're fixing that up now. You saw that the council passed a bond issue that we're trying to work with the state on getting through to do $30 million to completely overdo it. We didn't want to leave this problem for the next people. It's been a thorn in our side. We took over in 2013, and if you'll remember, we had the immediate catastrophic breakdown. The whole system went down.
Well, it was probably breaking down before that. It just became, the social media was even stronger at that point.
Yeah.
So we got to hear more.
So
about
we picked it up, fixed it, and right now what we've done is we've moved it off Bishop Street into the new public safety headquarters. We've created an entire floor that's going to be the dispatch floor. We have new supervisors, we have new equipment, we have everything. We've moved everybody, police and fire dispatch, over there, or purchased uniforms for the workforce, appointed new supervisors, and it's another place where we are always hiring. If anybody wants to apply for a
Get
job,
me the information on these.
I will get you the
recruitment, and
information.
We'll put a PSA together and play it each week.
that'd be great. And in the meantime, also, we're not only hiring, but they are negotiating with the unions that cover the people to try to increase the salaries. We can't do that unilaterally. We have to negotiate with the
contract,
union,
yeah.
because the union's not only concerned about them, they're concerned about all their members. What's the impact on everybody else? But we're doing that, and we're having very amicable discussions with the unions. Nobody's against trying to get people what they deserve if they come into work every day. So we're working on that. So I see good things ahead for the 911 system. And to be fair, there's some not problems there. There are very good people there who work very hard and who I would be very comfortable handling a 911 call about myself. I'm glad that they're getting the attention, and people are trying to make it better for them.
The police, they just got a bad rap nationally, not just Jersey City,
Yeah,
everywhere.
100%.
And it is a great job.
100%.
It's a great job. For that matter, we got the video studio here. Get me the info. We could do social media, do some videos on it. All right, we saved the best for last.
Uh-oh.
Jersey City parking enforcement. As a former PR guy there's always issues there. How can you straighten that out? And if you could, you'd have the wisdom of Solomon then. And I don't mean James Solomon. I mean, you got to have some real wisdom in this.
Yeah.
But I've known a lot of mayors that couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, as you know, like there's two, when we say traffic, parking, and everything, we have two contradictory problems, right? We have the problem of moving traffic along, getting people where they want to go, and then we have the problem of doing it safely, which usually means slowing them down.
Well, Jersey City, we're good at slowing it down. You can't get through Jersey City unless you got a siren. It's so difficult now.
Well, no, you're 100% right, and the major problem we're facing, and you're well aware of it, and I heard you say you were bringing on Joe to talk about it, is the vast amount of infrastructure work that Joe has to do. It's necessary to,
You want to flush the bowl?
Huh?
You got to let Joe do his job.
Yeah, but that's what So he has an incredible amount of infrastructure. He's playing catch up on things that probably should have been done for the last 50 years, and everybody just, what did you say, kick the can down the road?
Yeah, Joe's got almost a century of catching up to do down there.
So we're constantly trying to help him, and of course, he'll do his best to do a plan that minimizes the impacts on the traffic in Jersey City. and then a sewer will blow in the middle of it and throw the whole.
Well, some of these sewers are still made of wood.
Yes,
That's how old these things
it's impressive when he has to tear them up, and you look at what he's dealing with. You take your hat off to him. So that's a major problem. Parking, of course, as more people move into Jersey City, that's a major problem.
But they don't need cars, according to Steve. Full
Yeah,
up. Oh, they don't need cars.
I wish they'd listen to him because they're bringing cars.
I told them, hey, go down on 8th Street and Jersey Avenue. You build those high rises, there were no cars on Hoboken Avenue. Cars everywhere. Yes, they're coming here. They want cars. But he refuses to believe me on that. Bike lane, by the way, before I let you go. You a bike lane guy?
I get in trouble all the time for saying, no, I'm not. You mentioned before.
I'm the enemy of JC Bike here.
I'm your... we're about the same age. I remember when I was a kid, we rode bikes. We didn't need bikes. You know,
I got home every day with no protected lines, and I was 8.
But the bike lanes are here. They are impacting us. However, we work for all of Jersey City, and like the bike lanes are here, they've been voted in. We are going to make sure that they are safe for the people riding bikes to use. I mean, we have more problems, and you've seen it, with people who aren't using the bike lanes, who are on bikes or electric bikes, or
it's not even bikes anymore; it's electric bikes.
Or electric bikes, or they're I call them half a motorcycle, and they're riding on sidewalks and everything else. That's more of our problem. But we have an excellent Lieutenant Travis, who's in charge of
Travis Ragland. Yeah,
Travis Ragland's in charge of our parking and traffic enforcement. We brought it all together: the school crossing guards, parking, traffic. He has every day he has tough job and a clear vision of what he's trying to do. We'll make a public service announcement on that too. Make sure people know how to get a hold of us if they have a question.
Yep, I'm giving you the radio for that.
Yep.
Manhattan Avenue, is that gone through to make that a bike lane? That's the most ridiculous thing we've ever done.
I have not. No, that has not gone through yet. I have not been notified that that's gone through yet.
I don't even want to beat that dead horse anymore. Many times I explain why that shouldn't happen. All right, I think before we let you go, you're going to be doing a town hall here on GGR?
Yes, I am. In a week or two, I'm going to be doing it. We'll pick the date, and I look forward to people being able to call in and ask their questions, because ultimately that's where we learn what our residents are concerned about. So thank you for the opportunity.
I think it's a lot easier than trying to go all over the city and do these civic meetings. You come in here, do it once a month, and you do it. You take the calls, you get the feedback from the people. If necessary, like every 3 months, we can do a TV version of it. But you're interacting with them in real time, and then we can load it up on the podcast channels, and they can hear it again. So I think it's an excellent format for you guys.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to trying it, but we will still be attending the community meetings so people can still come and get to us.
I'm just trying to make it easy for you.
We're layering this on top of those. So thank you again for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Let's break for commercial. Now is our guest, Director of Public Safety, James Shea. We'll be right back.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Back, you listen to City Show Radio here. I'm Pat O'Melia. Mr. Shea has left to go back to Jersey City. He's got a big job to do there. But he'll be doing the town halls. I think they're doing one a month, and it'll be an hour, and they'll have the toll-free line. For that matter, I should give it out. We didn't do it during the interview. 855-999-0799. Again, 855-999-0799. Let's get back to the show. You learned a little bit there from Mr. Shea. I thought we had more cops than that. I think at one time in Jersey City, I think we were up to like 1,280. But during Jerry McCann and Brett Schundler, and even Glenn, we started losing our police through layoffs and retirements, and we just weren't bringing them back. And there was a stigma back then about even thinking about raising taxes. You raised taxes, you were out. But that changed a bit. You know, if you're raising the taxes 1-2%, yeah, you can deal with that. But the problem is now taxes are going up, like with the Jersey City Board of Education. They're talking about a 20% increase. which sounds ridiculous when you're looking at $1 billion budget. But you're listening to Plainfield, Toms River. They're all talking about exceeding the 2%, going 10, 12, 14, 16%. Somehow, some way, we got to get a handle on how we're funding the schools. Because the way we're doing it right now isn't helping anyone. Yeah, we're laying off teachers, we're laying off staff. We got schools, selling buildings. This isn't working. Let's get back to some of the topics of the show here. That I did write this stuff, so I'll just use it. Mayor Fulop called on Governor Murphy, to divest the state pension plan of Tesla stocks. It's Tesla stocks. Is a strong performing stock. I know it went down because people are upset about Elon and the Doge, and he's trying to cut fraud and waste out of our government. Why does anybody have a problem with cutting fraud and waste? I don't understand that. Obama talked about doing it. Clinton talked about doing it. Reagan talked about doing it. None of them did it. Well, I'll give Clinton. Clinton is probably the best efficient run of the United States government. I don't think it was a lot of deficit with Clinton. But yes, things have gotten out of hand. You have to look at all the expenses. Again, we're talking about Jersey City, about being affordable. Nothing's going to be affordable if it's too damn expensive. And if Doge can come and cut expenses, can he cut trillions? Maybe. I don't know. We got to see. But like I've said before, when it comes to Elon, if he's talking money, he's talking finance, you listen to Elon. The guy, listen, PayPal, Tesla, Neuralink, SpaceX. The guy's got the golden touch. The guy knows Twitter. Guy knows money. He wants to talk about money. I'm interested. As far as diversing the state pension plan of the Tesla stock, Tesla is the #1 auto manufacturer in the world. And it'll probably, with Elon there, probably remain that way. Why would you want to divest outside of politics? Now, you got a problem with Doge. You got a problem with what Elon is doing in the federal government. Don't hurt the pension plan. Again, I've known Fulop, 22 years, probably longer than that, when he came on the scene back with Glenn Cunningham. But I don't agree with everything he does. I'm married 47 years. I don't agree with everything my wife says. I try to make my own decisions, and I listen to all the information, and I make my decision. Elon in Tesla stock, you want to be able to pay for the pensions? You hold on to that Tesla stock. For that matter, I would double down. I would start getting some SpaceX stock in there. That Neuralink is going to be very interesting. It's going to give people the ability of movement, people who are paralyzed, people probably somewhere down the line to move, the ability of sight again. This is the guy. And the other thing, what is amazing, again, I'll throw some rocks at Fulop here. One of the largest stocks that New Jersey has is tobacco stocks. Yes, tobacco. Smoking cigarettes. We make a ton of money on that through the taxes. Maybe we should stop that. Or if we got a problem, we have an issue with stocks, maybe we get rid of the tobacco stocks. Maybe we stop putting a huge tax on tobacco. Why should we be profiting from this? Because we need the money. That's why. You need strong performing stocks. And say what you want about tobacco, it seems always to be performing. Tesla's always performing. And again, why we would have a problem, I don't get this. If somebody was trying to cut waste and fraud out of your tax dollars, I think we should embrace that. So any of this BS about, and the other thing, they lie so much, and these protesters, you see them, the reaction to the questions of the protesters, what are you protesting for? Most of them have no idea. Nobody's cutting Social Security. All they did there was remove people of 130 years old who were obviously getting checks. Somebody was depositing checks. There were grandma's checks, there were dad's checks. Dad's been gone 40 years, and we're still getting Social Security payments, apparently. Medicaid, there's a lot of fraud there. You and I have seen bills that you've gotten, and you look at it and say, how is this possible? That's a lot of fraud in there. That all has to be looked at. And that's Medicaid. They're not talking about Medicare. They're not talking about cutting any Social Security. That's all BS that's coming out of the Democratic side. And again, I'm more of a mercenary. I just mentioned Clinton. I think Bill Clinton was one of the best presidents in my lifetime. Probably him and Reagan. I just want a good president. I need someone who is successful. Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, I need him to be successful. I can't do another 4 years of what we did with Biden. I won't have shoes if I do another 4 years of what we had with Biden. That's a little local stuff. Maureen Eulens. I don't know if you know Maureen. She heads up the Board of Commissioners at the Jersey City MUA. She's been there a long time. She's a long-time civic person. Maureen's been involved in everything that goes on in Jersey City. If there's an organization, somehow, some way, Maureen Eulens is involved in it. Yeah, we've been both in the city, covering the city. I've been covering for like 30 years now. Maureen's been here at least for the same amount of time. Yes, Maureen's old. We've been here a long time. Mayor Fulop nominated her to replace Mira, our Ward B representative. Mira has resigned. She's going to EDC. I think she already started. I congratulated her last week. I'm pretty sure she's already there. Maureen would just be the seat warmer until the election in November. And for whatever reason, we have council people are against Maureen. Well, not so much against her, that we didn't get to interview other candidates for this. Well, it's only a short term here. Let's put Maureen in the seat, and we just move on. Now, Maureen was at the caucus meeting yesterday, and she's there to answer questions. And I don't think anybody answering questions. They're all talking about, well, why can't we interview this person, that person? We got to get this done, I think, by May the 7th. And there is no better candidate than Maureen Eulens. If you're not going to go with Maureen, you got Mary Spinello. She was the Ward B. She's retired from Jersey City. You could probably talk to her. There are other candidates, but Maureen is certainly qualified. She's paid her dues in the city. She understands how the city operates. Put her in there. I'm sure Wednesday, Maureen will be the Ward B representative. But I thought it was really disrespectful to have her sit there at the caucus meeting and not even asking her questions and just batting back and forth about how we should interview people. Mayor Healy, the former mayor of Jersey City, was elected 3 times the mayor of Jersey City. His daughter is now going to run for Ward D, my district, my ward, the Ward D, as the council at large on Jim McGreevy's ticket. She is a formidable opponent. She just went to the head of the pack. She is the leading candidate for Ward D. Her father has a great reputation, especially in the Heights. Her father the Healy name in particular, have a great reputation there. There is a lot of the Healy loyalists and the DeGeese loyalists still in the Heights, because we're the Heights. We don't leave. We stay here forever. She is, right off the bat, I may even say she is destined to win. Yeah, that's how certain I am. And yeah, I remember her, and I've known Jerry, I've known the family. She's married. She's named after her grandmother. Great woman. As I said many times, Catherine Healy's on the right hand of God. Catherine was one of the big-hearted people I've met. She took care of everybody, took care of anyone that had an issue. She collected people like cats, took care of them, fed them. She was such a great woman. And her granddaughter is also a great woman. She is going to be a very formidable opponent for all the Ward D candidates. Good move by Jim McGreevy picking her. I'm almost certain she wins, but we'll see how that goes. Because that Healy name, and the DeGeese, the Healy DeGeese faction, they're still in the Heights here. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Speaking of Jimmy Mack, James McGreevy has $1.9 million on hand for the campaign. How much money do you need to be the mayor of Jersey City? Why, I would just stick the 1.9 in my pocket and go home. Do I need the aggravation to be the mayor? Just give me the 1.9. See you later. Okay? Have a good day. You enjoy. I'm taking the 1.9. You're going to spend 1.9 to be the mayor of Jersey City? Well, that's not a much return on that investment there. O'Day had 1.1. So we're going to spend like $3 million between these two guys, and they're not done collecting yet. They're still fundraising out there. So when all's said and done, they'll probably both be spending about $3 million for one of the most thankless jobs you could possibly have. You know when you get in there, you're going to open that desk drawer, and these demons are going to jump out of the mayor's desk. And you're like, oh, man, wish I had my $1.9 million back. So O'Day's got 1.1 on hand so far. I think James McGreevy, he's close to $1 million. I think he's at $950,000. And then you got Joyce Waterman. I think she has some coupons. I'm not sure what Joyce is doing there. She might have some money. I don't know. I didn't hear much about money there with Joyce. Barbara Stramato, old friend of mine. And Katie Brennan received the endorsements of the Working Family Party. Barbara is running for assembly in the 31st district. That includes the northern end of Jersey City, the southern end of Jersey City, and all of Bayonne. And Katie Brennan is running for all of Hoboken and part of the Heights there. I think she's running in my district for assembly. And they received, that's a pretty big endorsement from the working families. Before I go to commercial break, confidence. We're talking about Doge and people having problems with Elon and Donald Trump. Again, I just need Donald Trump to be successful. He's only got one term. And by the way, don't listen to any crap about him running for a third term. Ain't going to happen. But I swear this guy says things just to get a rise out of everybody. He loves the press talking about him. I swear to you, even the press he doesn't like, CNN, MSNBC, he says these things just to get a rise. There was a poll done. Confidence in the Democratic congressional leadership is at an all-time low of 25%. And count the ways you have a problem with the Democratic Party right now. There are so many issues with the Democratic Party. If they don't get on the beam, they won't have power for decades to come. And they just beat the hell out of the wrong topics. Just do the business of the people. That's what we need to stop this stuff in Washington, where the campaign never dies. It never ends. Once the election's over, everybody just pulls on the same end of the rope so we can do the business of the people. Make the country safe. Make it secure. Take care of the economy. The economy is the main gazane. The old saying, high tide lifts all boats. Well, if we're all making money, we're all doing well. We've got to get to that part. It has to be safe. And we have to create jobs. If we learn nothing from the pandemic, we know we have to do manufacturing in the United States. We got to bring these jobs back that we started losing in the 80s. And we're sitting here with our hands on our butts saying, what happened here? Wait, I can't, the pandemic came, we couldn't get medicine. We don't do anything anymore. We don't build anything anymore. All right, let's break for commercial. You listen to City Show Radio. I'm Pat O'Melia. We'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back. You listen to City Show Radio here. Pat O'Melia on GGR. Tell your friends to download the app, Line 365. For that matter, if you want to ask questions of James Shea during his public safety meetings, you're going to have to download the app. And the toll-free number is 855-999-0799. Christ Hospital here in Jersey City. We all know where it is. Yeah, there's so many rumors running around here right now. It's worse than politics right now. We're hearing so many things. First off, what really pissing me off here, Christ Hospital was being fined $2,500 a day since June for various safety and health issues. They weren't sanitizing things. Things were dirty there. It was bad enough that they're getting fined $2,500 a day to a tune of, they owe like $247,000. I think that was up till September. Did you know that? Did you know that they had a problem with sanitizing the hospital and everything's clean? If you're going for surgery and you're going to have a dirty friggin' ER? No, nobody told us. Now, how the F is that possible? That, I mentioned before, Mayor Phillips on the board. He put himself on that board to try to save the hospital. Nobody told him. Who the hell is keeping this a secret? Where we're putting people in danger going to that hospital when they were getting fined daily for unsanitary conditions. Nobody said boo, but they're still taking people in. If it's not clean and it's not that, you get staph infections from that. It's a ton of infections. I don't want to sound like Sheldon Cooper, the germaphoid here, but there's a lot of sickness in the hospital. You don't have that clean, everybody's in danger. And nobody said a damn thing. You're going to tell me our Department of Health, whether it's state or county or the city, didn't know about this? BS. Nobody said anything. Nobody gave a damn thing about you going to that hospital. Not the management of CarePoint. I'm going to sadly say not the city of Jersey City or the county of Hudson. We had to know, and nobody said boo. People kept going in. Probably not the people who were in the loop. They're going there. I'm going to Mid-Center. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that has to be clean. I'll go back. I mentioned Glenn before. My father-in-law was getting surgery done in there, and it was terrible. They lost my father-in-law. There was all sorts of issues. At a point, I almost had to close that hospital. I had to get Glenn D. Cunningham involved, and Glenn was going to start performing security because they lost my father-in-law. They forgot where the hell they put him at the surgery. I was actually looking for my father-in-law in that hospital, going into ORs where they're doing surgery. I'm walking in. Hey, is my father-in-law in there? Nope. I'm not kidding you. We eventually had to convene all the department heads in that hospital with the city there to get them to do the right things. First off, have security and know where the F your patients were. After that week, I went to see Dr. Mayella, my doctor. He said to me, Dad, he goes, I want to thank you for screwing everything up at Christ Hospital. Now I got to go through all sorts of hoops to get into the place. I said, Doc, it was ridiculous. I was walking around at the ORs looking for my father-in-law. They couldn't find him. It was terribly run. And obviously, it's worse now. So I don't know what's going to happen with the merger here with Hudson Regional Hospital. We're hearing rumors that they're going to knock down Hoboken and Christ Hospital, build a new Hoboken University Hospital, a smaller version of Christ Hospital, which I'm sure will have condominiums all around it. And I just heard today somehow RWJ may be involved. I got to follow up on that one. But yeah, it's very fluid with Christ Hospital. But somebody's got to answer to the fact that nobody in the city knew there was a problem, health and safety issues at Christ Hospital, that they were getting fined $2,400 a day. All right, take our last commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. City Radio Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. We got like a minute left in the show. We got the NFL draft this Thursday, 8 o'clock. Everybody's wondering what the Giants will do. Giants will take Carter. They're not taking a quarterback. What they're going to do, Arch Manning is coming out next year. Archie Manning, the patriot of the family, will manipulate the draft again and manipulate the NFL and get Archie to go to the Giants next year. So we're not worried about getting a quarterback this year. In North Bergen, you see a pothole? You see a pothole? Call this number, 201-330-7263. That's 201-330-7263. That's the pothole hotline. John Shore and his gang will get out there and fill that pothole for you. Every city should have a pothole gang like that. John Shore's got a good group. But I remember years ago, he said the pothole killer. I don't know what happened to that to the device. We have the machine that used to run around and just like spray pavement into the holes. Medicine Woman Weed Shop opened up at 600 Tunley Avenue, which is just past the other weed shop that opened up at the old Rendy's on Tunley Avenue. You got the Rendy's, I think it's called Green Space Weed Shop. And then 2 doors down, you got the Medicine Woman. And let's see, April 29th, we're supposed to have a debate here for the 33rd District. So far, I'm hearing crickets. All right, we're out of time. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.